blue eyes and brown hair. He was a Presbyterian. He enlisted on June 29th, 1918 in Ottawa. His regiment number was 3325714. His regiment was the 3rd Depot. He died in 1986 at the age of 90. He is currently buried in Munster.
Hi, my name is Helena. My veteran is John Vincent Timmins. He was born July 26, 1897. He was born in Ashton, Ontario. His parents, his mother was Mrs. Catherine Timmins. He didn't have any brothers or sisters, and he was a farmer. He's 5'8", and his eye color is gray. He has brown hair, and his religion is RC. He was enlisted May 16th, 1918 in Ottawa. His regiment number is 3322767. His regiment is the 3rd Depot. He died in 1952 at the age of 57 and is buried in Dwyer Hill Cemetery.
Hello, my name is David, and my veteran is John Patterson Morton. He was born on July 9th, 1894, and he was born at Harwick, Scotland. His parents was also John Morton. His job was a bank clerk. His height was 5 feet and 10 inches, and his eye color was blue. His hair color was brown, and his religion was Presbyterian. He enlisted on June 15th, 1917 in Ottawa with the regiment number 2265728. His battalion was the Signal Training Depot, and his wife was Anna G. He died in 1974 and was buried in Richmond Presbyterian.
My name is Emmy, and I'm going to tell you about my veteran, Frank Featherstone. He was born October 28, 1878, at 7th Concession, Goulburn County, Canada. He was a carpenter. He was married to Evelyn Featherstone. His address was 878 Somerset Street, Ottawa, Ontario. He was 38. He was 5'9". His eyes were gray, and his hair was black. He enlisted June 23rd, 1916, and he enlisted in Ottawa. He had no parents, no sisters, and his religion was Church of England. His regiment number was 246535, and his regiment was 207. He had no children, and he died in the year of 1968, and he was 90 when he died, and he is currently buried in Munster.
Hello, my name is Braelyn, and my veteran is William Wesley Brown. He was born on the 27th of February, 1898, in Richmond, Ontario. His parents were William J. Brown and Hester A. Brown. He had a younger sister named Muriel. He was a student, and he was 5 feet and 8 inches. His eyes were gray, and his hair was brown. His religion was a Presbyterian. The date he enlisted was June 3rd, 1916. His place of enlistment was on Ottawa, Ontario. His regiment number was 246425, and he was the 27th Battalion. He was single. He had no wife and no children. He died on the 29th of September, 1918. He died in the Battle of Cambrai, and he is currently buried in Drummond Cemetery, and he was 20 years old when he died. Here is a picture of him, and this was a picture of his medals.
name is Ethan, and I would like to tell you about my veteran, James Gamble. He was born on the 1st of September, 1896. He was born in Weymouth, Ontario. His mother's name is Miss Mary Gamble, and he was a farmer. He was 5'6", and the color of his eyes were blue, and his hair was brown. His religion was the Church of England, and his date of enlistment was June 13, 1918. His place of enlistment was Ottawa, and his regiment number is 332-3925. His second depot. He died in 1906. He was 90 years old, and he was buried in Richmond United Elementary.
Hello, my name is Olivia, and my veteran's name is Daniel James O'Brien. He was born on September 5th, 1897. His mom was named Teresa J. O'Brien. He was Christian, and his job was a farmer. Daniel was 5 feet and had hazel eyes and brown hair. His regiment number was 3322652. Daniel O'Brien was married to Mary Ann Murphy after the war. He died in the year 1942 at age 45. He is buried in Doyer Hill Cemetery. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael, and the name of my veteran is Jonathan Werner Featherston. His date of birth was September 5th, 1890, and his place of birth was Carleton County, Ottawa. His parents were William Ganford Featherston. His father and his mom were Ashton and Mary Jane Martin. His brothers and sisters were Lord, Thomas, Weasley, and Herbert, and he was the second of 5 children. His job was a locomotive fireman. He was 5'8", his eye color was gray, his hair color was brown, and he was Anglican. He enlisted on May 29th, 1917. He enlisted in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. His regiment number was 22-33333. His regiment was the 1st Mounted Rifles. His date of death was September 29th, 1918. His age of death was 28. He got buried in Braelyn Court, France, near Cambrai. He was commemorated at Munster Union and is on page 406 of the Book of Remembrance. He died in the Battle of Cambrai. And this is a picture of him.
Hello, my name is Matthew, and I'll be presenting my World War I veteran. My World War I veteran is Edward Kavanaugh, whose regiment number is 3322626. He lived on Stanley's Corners, Ontario, and he was born on 17th of September 1896 in Goulburn, Ontario. He got married on 4th of October 1927 in Richmond, Ontario to Catherine Cecilia Larkin. His job was a farmer, and his father was also lived in Stanley Corners. When Edward Kavanaugh was enlisted, he was 21 years and 9 months. He was 5'6", had a dark complexion, blue eyes, brown hair. His parents were William M. Kavanaugh and Margaret Jane Casgrove, and he died on February 1970 in Ottawa, Ontario, and he is currently buried in the Richmond Catholic graveyard.
Hi, my name is Kieran, and I'm going to present my World War I veteran, Edward Dubroy. He was born on May 8th, 1886. His parent was Ellen Dubroy. His job before he was enlisted was a lumberman. He was 5'8". His eye color was brown. His hair color was black. And he was Roman Catholic. He was enlisted on February 3rd, 1916. He was enlisted in North Bay. His regiment number was 648-265. He was in the 159th Battalion. His date of death was January 12th, 1923. He was buried in the Richmond Catholic Church.
Hello, my name is Carter Ibach, and my veteran is Edward Francis Kavanaugh. His date of birth is September 17th in 1896. He lives at Stanley's Corners, Ontario, Arnold. His regiment number is 3322626. He was born in Goulburn, Ontario. He was single. His religion was Catholic. He was a farmer. And he died during the year 1970. He was buried at Richmond Catholic Cemetery. He was 74 years old when he died. And his siblings were Peter, Joseph, Chas, and Mary. His mother was Margaret, and his father was William. His regiment was the 2nd Depot. His eye color is blue, his hair color is brown, he's 5 feet 6 inches tall, and he was enlisted on the 11th of June 1918 in Ottawa.
Hi, I'm Luke, and the veteran that I'm going to be talking about, his name is Robert Toombs. He was born November 1871. His mom was named Gil Bartley, and he had one sister. His job was a plasterer and a carpenter. He was 5'7", and his eye color was gray and his hair color was gray. His religion was Roman Catholic, and his date of enlistment was May 29th. Also, his place of enlistment was in Ottawa. His regiment number was 1075098. His regiment was the 4th Pioneer. Residence, Hintonburg, Ottawa. Birth location, Smith Falls, Ontario. His date of death, April 15th, 1951. And the cemetery he was buried in was the Munster Cemetery, and he died at the age of 80.
Hi, I'm Aquila, and I'd like to talk to you about my veteran. His name is Samuel Rea, and his regiment number is 3320877. His date of birth is the 26th February 1892, and his place of birth is Fallowfield, Ontario. His mother is Miss W. Rea, and his height is 5'4". His eye color is blue, and his hair color is dark brown. His job before he was enlisted was a farmer, and his religion was Presbyterian. His enlistment date was March 29th, 1918, and in Ottawa. His regiment was the 2nd Depot Battalion. His year of death was 1972, and his cemetery was Richmond United.
Hi, my name is Winnie, and I'd like to talk to you about my veteran, John Brennan. He was born on April 26, 1997 in Goulburn, Ontario to Mrs. Anne Jane Brennan. He was a farmer, and he was 5'9". His eye color was hazel, and his hair color was brown. He was a Roman Catholic as well, and he enlisted in May 29, 1917 in Ottawa, Ontario. He was given the regiment number 3322707 to the 2nd Depot Battalion. He was single. He died in 1985 at the age of 88, and he was buried at Dwyer Hill Cemetery.
Hello, my name is Brady, and this is my soldier from the First World War. His name is William Wesley Brown. His regiment number is 246425. He was born in Richmond, Ontario. His dad is Mr. W.J. Brown. When he did his regiment papers, he was not married yet. His job was a student. His date of enlistment was June 3rd. His place of enlistment was Ottawa, Ontario. His regiment is the 207th. His height is 5'9". His eye color is green. His hair color is brown. His religion is Presbyterian. His position in the Battle of Cambrai was 3rd gunner. He died on September 29th, 1918 in the Battle of Cambrai. He's buried at Richmond United Cemetery, and he is also buried at Drummond Cemetery in North France. He is on page 376 of the Book of Remembrance. This is a photo of William Brown, and these are the medals that he got during the war.
Hello, my name is Matthew and my soldier is Sergeant Philip Konoval. He was born on March 25, 1887 in Podesky, Ukraine. His civilian occupation was a laborer. His height was 5 feet 6 inches and his date of enlistment is July 12, 1915. He enlisted in Ottawa, Ontario, and his age at enlistment was 28. Philip's regimental number was 144-039, and he joined 47th Battalion. He died June 3, 1959, at the age of 72. He is the only Ukrainian winner of the Victoria Cross. Philip Konoval, one of these forgotten men, born in Ukraine, Konoval emigrated to Canada in 1913. He left behind a wife and a daughter, promising to return soon. He hoped to build a better life for his family in Canada. After the war broke out, he volunteered for service, joining Ottawa's 77th Infantry Battalion, and was later reassigned to British Columbia's 47th Battalion. Unlike most Ukrainian immigrants in Canada, Konoval had come from both Ukrainian lands and under the control of the Russian Empire. He was lucky, for that meant he was misidentified officially as a Russian, because most Ukrainians in Canada at the time had been born in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, where they were labeled Austrians. Thousands of Konoval's fellow Ukrainians were stigmatized with the label of enemy and aliens during Canada's first national internment operations of 1914 and 1920. Many were carted off to one of the 24 Canadian concentration camps, women and children among them. The last survivors of that injustice will soon be gone. Like Konoval, they too have been all but forgotten. In August 1917, during the Battle for Hill 70 near Lens, France, Corporal Konoval fought with exceptional valor for his deeds. He was awarded the British Empire's highest decoration, presenting the Medal of Honor. His Majesty King George V remarked, "Your exploit is one of the most daring and heroic in the history of my army. For this, accept my thanks." Konoval finally returned to Canada on July 20th, 1919, having soldiered 3 years and 357 days in the ranks of the Canadian Expeditionary Force, both in Europe and Siberia. Reportedly, as many as 10,000 other Ukrainian Canadians also served. The remainder of Konoval's life was troubled, probably the consequence of his severe war wounds. His first wife and daughter both disappeared during the Stalinist terror in Ukraine. Until his death in 1959, the best job he could find was being the janitor for the House of Commons. While honored by his fellow Ukrainian Canadian veterans, he was otherwise neglected. After he was buried by his regiment with full military honors in Ottawa's Notre Dame Cemetery, Konoval's grave was marked with only the simplest of tablets.
Hi, I'm Arman, and my veteran is Tom Salburn, Point 4. I'm going to be presenting him to you. His regiment number was 24621.